Hello all, welcome to my channel Step by Step. In this section, I will be showing you the complete roadmap of learning CSS. I will cover almost all the topics which are required to become CSS developer. In my previous two sections, I have shown you complete roadmap to become web developer and also HTML roadmap. If you have not watched that, I suggest you to watch that so that you can plan accordingly. So let's continue with CSS roadmap. So in this, we will see what is CSS, why should we learn CSS, how to use CSS, and complete roadmap and the topics which are required to become CSS developer, and what are the jobs we can do after learning CSS, and what will be the salary if we apply for jobs related to CSS. At the end of this section, you will get all these answers and you will be comfortable enough to start your CSS journey. Before understanding what is CSS, let me ask you a simple question. There are 12 students in a class, and for each of them, I have given paper and sketches. So, what do you think what they are going to do? I just told them whatever you want, you have to do it. It completely depends on their ideas, it completely depends on their thoughts. So, what do you think what I will be getting at the end? The answer is very simple. Each of the students might have used different colors, and all 12 papers I would get different result. So in the same way, CSS also works in this way. After learning HTML, when we start using CSS, each and every person will be getting different result. So when we are using CSS, I have created this HTML structure. Imagine this is my HTML structure. In this I have just told this is one circle. Okay, I have just written some code and I have made this as a circle. But after doing CSS, that is after painting this one, I got to know it is actually a sun. Only after painting this, I got to know it is a sun. So in similar way, after writing any structure of our website using HTML, when we add some stylings, when we design the layout, when we display that result, that time we get to know, okay, actually this is a website which is related to e-commerce. We can understand this is a complete website which is having all the designs, all the colors, background images, videos, buttons and everything. And for all that, we will have different result. So in the same way, if I have given paper to all the students, I would have got different result. So in the same way, when HTML structure is given to different developers, I will be getting different result, that is different website design from every developer. After this introduction section, I will show you one website where you can see with only one HTML structure, there are lot of designs which are created by developers and they have published their designs. Before understanding all these things, let's see what CSS can do. So CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, using CSS, whatever HTML structure we are having, we can paint that one. We can give stylings to all the elements present inside HTML, and also we can give different layers. One dimensional layer, two dimensional layer. We can create plenty of layers only using CSS. So in simpler terms, it is used to control the look and formatting of a web page written in HTML. If you want to give red color, you can simply give red color. Orange color you can give. If you want to design navbar on the top, you can easily give that. Buttons, if you want to give green color, easily whatever you think you can do with CSS. This is the website csszengarden.com. Here I am going to click on this view design. You can see here for same HTML we are having different designs here. You can see we have multiple different stylings. All you can see. And this is also color combination and everything. Only using basic HTML, every person has written different stylings, and you can see there are multiple pages, and in each page we are having different design. Now if I come to second page, you can see there are another type of designs. Now let me just open one design. I will open this. You can see this is like a game format. Here we are having some design. You can just explore this one. You can refer using CSS what kind of website we can make, and you can see the magic of CSS. Using same HTML structure, they have given different colors, different design, different layout, and this is regarding wine shop. Okay, the design is very simple, and also this kind of designs you will mostly find in menu cards. And now if I open this one, this is also completely different design, different colors, different layers, you can see. So for all this, only one HTML is written, but different designs are done by different developers, and they have published their designs in this website. You can go through this layer and understand using CSS what all we can do. I hope you understood what is CSS. Next, let's understand why CSS. First and most important thing for styling web pages, without CSS, our website will only be black and white color. So after applying CSS, only then we can style our web pages. And also if you are doing any online business or startup, for that also you need website, and without CSS you cannot create website. At one particular point you should learn CSS to give stylings to your website. Then next, responsive design. Now if you see, most of the people are using mobiles, and everything they will be searching in mobile. They are surfing internet using Google, Chrome, whatever it is. So whenever we are writing any code, we are making any website, we will keep mobile users first. First we will make responsive design. Responsive design is nothing but design which is made, it should be looking good on all the screen sizes, laptop, big screen sizes, tablet, mobile phones. In every screen, that website structure should be good. To build that kind of layout, CSS is used so that we can make our websites responsive. Then next, career opportunities. If you learn CSS, you are having lot of opportunities. You will get lot of openings. If you master CSS, or even if you know the basic level of CSS, you can get started in your journey. You can start with your web development field. And accessibility. Using CSS, we are having some properties. Using that property, we can make our website accessible to the people who cannot read. And using that properties, we can make our website accessible to the people who cannot see. And apart from this, there are many other things we should learn CSS, like we have separation of concerns. If you are writing HTML and if you want to design the layout, you cannot write complete CSS in the same HTML file. For that, we can create separate style sheet. In that, we can give all the stylings, and we can link our HTML and CSS file. So in such cases, we have to use CSS so that it will clearly justify separation of concerns, and also it will be increasing user experience. If user is seeing colorful website or the website related to the product which is having proper designs and layers, it will increase their user experience. Also for SEO, usually CSS will not affect SEO, But with proper semantic HTML elements, using those elements and giving proper structure will definitely affect in SEO. So these are few reasons why CSS is used and why should you learn CSS. As of now, the current version of CSS is CSS 3. Before that, we had CSS 1, CSS 2, CSS 2.1. Now current version is CSS 3 and CSS 4 is still work in progress. But you do not have to worry about CSS versions. Whatever currently you are going to learn, that will be the latest one, and all the previous properties you do not have to worry, and if they are not in use, you just have to remove that one. And most of the properties which were used earlier, now in modern development, it is not used. So you can get started with latest CSS version in which you will be having all the properties using which you can create different layers. So this roadmap will be showing you modern CSS. Now next comes how to use CSS. We will learn CSS to style our website, but how do we use CSS? With the help of HTML. Answer is very simple. We will select HTML elements and we will give the stylings to them. So with the help of HTML, we will learn CSS and we will use CSS for HTML elements. Now, finally, let us start with our roadmap. First thing, you should always learn to plan. Plan accordingly, then you have to start your journey. If you do not plan and if you started your journey and if you are getting the result, then that is completely fine. But without having a plan, if you are keep on going without having any result, then definitely there is something wrong or you are doing some extra things which is not at all required in web development field. So first thing, you should learn HTML. In our previous session, I have shown complete roadmap of HTML. You can watch that. You can learn HTML and then come to CSS. Second, you should learn observing the things. Observation is very important when you start your journey with CSS. You observe different websites, see the design, see how much space they are using, see the font size, see the font weight. You really have to observe the layers. Then planning. Planning, as I mentioned, it is very, very important. Whenever you want to learn something new, planning is very important because most of the things will be outdated and that you really do not have to learn in this modern era. So planning is very important so that you don't waste your time and you will get the result which you are waiting for. And then next, you have to learn basics of CSS. Previously, I told you what is CSS, why CSS. You can learn more about CSS, advantages of CSS, magic of CSS, see different website, see how it is created, how it is built. You should learn basics of CSS. Then linking CSS file. When it comes to web development, there are three ways of linking CSS in HTML. We have inline stylings, internal stylings, and external stylings. You have to understand and you have to choose one type for your project. Mostly external style sheet is suggested because you will not mess up with your design. You will have complete separate file for HTML, complete separate file for CSS. CSS selectors you have to understand. Selectors, we are having class selectors, ID selectors, how to select elements, what are descendant selectors, child selectors. You have to understand about selectors, different ways of selecting the elements and giving styles to them. Then finally, you have to combine HTML and CSS. With all these things, selecting elements, selecting all the elements, there are different ways of selecting elements. So once you learn about selectors, select HTML elements and start implementing or start creating simple website. Then you have to learn basic styling properties. You should understand the most important model in CSS, that is box model. In this you will be having lot of things to understand. You can learn padding, you should learn what is margin, what are borders, how box model will be working, what will be the width and height of the elements in box model. And also there are many properties inside this. We have box sizing. Understand all these things. For every HTML element, what will be the padding, why it is given, you have to understand that. You should completely understand about box model, because in every website, understanding box model will be very useful, because accordingly you can give different sizes to your elements. Then next comes text stylings. You have heading, you have paragraph, you have to select that and you have to give all the font properties. What will be the font style, what will be the font size, font weight, simple properties yet important properties. You have to understand those. Then next come colors. Understanding colors is also very important, because if you're creating any website for a hospital and if you have only given black color, then definitely it will not look good at all. For hospitals, mostly you can give dark blue color or green color. You have to give colors, and also you should understand different meanings of colors. Accordingly, you have to choose the color and give in your project. Then next, you should learn about interactivity using CSS. For that, you can learn transitions and animation properties. Using CSS, you can apply lot of animations, and also you can give transitions in your website. Then transformations, you have to learn all the properties related to transformation. You should understand pseudo classes and pseudo elements. These are also very important. When you hover on button, what should be the color? When you remove the mouse from button, what should be the button of color? So accordingly, you can use pseudo classes. We have pseudo elements like before and after. Using that, we can add extra content for elements before and after, and we can give different designs. So this concept is also very important when you are making websites. Then you should understand positioning. Positioning is very important, because whenever you are creating larger website, you want to place the element in such a way that it should be fixed at one position or it should be moving along with your website. For that kind of effects, you should be using positioning properties. And when you're learning about animation, you should learn about keyframes, how it will work, and you have to practice this one. And when it comes to positioning, you should learn absolute positioning, relative, fixed, and static positioning. Previously, if you have already started CSS and if you are not aware how this positioning works, in my channel, I have uploaded this video, Master CSS Positions. I will be providing link in the description. You can watch this and you can master CSS positions. Then next come layers. After designing our elements, after giving colors, after giving font stylings, after doing animation, transition, transformation, next come layers. After giving design to all the elements, what will be the layout of my website? Whether it will be two-dimensional, one-dimensional, all the elements will be displayed in boxes, whether it will be top, bottom, left, right. So for all that, you should learn about layers. And you can easily create layout by learning Flexbox. Now we have grid system. Flexbox is used for creating one-dimensional layers, and grids are used for creating two-dimensional layers. And also you have to learn responsive design. Responsive design is very important. Once you learn Flexbox and Grid, then learn about responsive design. Using this layered system, create design for laptop, create design for different screen sizes. Then you will really master how to use Flexbox and how to use Grid. So after learning this, what you can do, you can make one website only using Flexbox. Then you can make one website using Grid, and also you can combine both Flexbox and Grid. Later, whatever you have given, for that you have to make responsive website so that it will look good on all the screen sizes: tablet, mobile, laptop, big screen sizes. In every screen size, it should look good. You have to understand about breakpoints and everything. And also in my channel, I have uploaded videos on Master Flexbox and Complete CSS Course. If you want to watch this and if you want to master these topics, then you can watch these videos. I will be providing link in the description. Then next comes frameworks. We have Bootstrap, Bulma, we have Materialize. You can learn any one of them. Okay, you do not have to learn all the frameworks. You can learn any one of the framework. You can start using in your website. Frameworks are nothing but you will be getting predefined code. If you're just thinking you want to design navbar, you will get code inside this. You can copy and you can paste in your project, and accordingly using CSS you can design these elements. And also we are having most popular Tailwind CSS. Once you learn about framework, suppose if I take an example of Bootstrap, if you learn Bootstrap, if you understand how Bootstrap will work, how to use elements inside Bootstrap, how to use classes, then see, understanding Tailwind will be very easy, because in that also we will be having all the classes using which we can display the design. Then next comes preprocessors. Now preprocessor is nothing but they will be giving additional features. So using this preprocessor, CSS preprocessor, we can write logic in our code. We can use variables, we can do lot of nesting and so many other things. So for that, we have SAS, we have less, we have stylus, we are having few more. But from these three, you can select any one. Mostly suggested is SAS. You can select less, you can select stylus, and you can learn one preprocessors. Once you learn framework and preprocessor, combine everything, create simple project and see the result. So in this also, you can learn any one. If you really want to expand your knowledge, if you really want to explore the things, then you can learn all three. Okay? You should always be open to learning. You can learn anything. But if you really want to get a job and start with your career, then you can choose anyone and get started with web development. Then additional skills you require. You should understand about CSS variables. You should learn how CSS variables is used and what is the purpose of variables. You should learn developer tool. So after writing CSS, when you're checking result in browser, you have to open browser developer tool and you have to select the elements. You have to see how it is styled. You can change from there. You can just see the preview of your code. Then CSS architecture. When it comes to CSS architecture, we have many naming conventions. The most important is BEM. Suppose you have one div container. Inside that, we are having multiple child containers. So for that div container, if we have given some class, for all the child elements, the class name will be starting with that parent class. So you have to understand about that. I will tell you. You can learn about BEM, BEM. Then you should learn accessibility. As I mentioned, you have to understand area roles. Using this, you can make your project or you can make your website accessible to disabled readers. Okay, blind people also can easily read your website. Then you should learn about gradients, how gradients are used in CSS, understand shadows, how shadows are useful and how they are effective in creating website. Masking also, in many modern website, masking is also used. Like on text, you will be having one image kind of layered. So for that also, you can learn masking. And you should understand images, how it will be looking on all the screen sizes, what will be the size of image, what will be the rendering size, what will be the uploading size. You should understand about images. Okay, these are the additional skills you should be having when you get started in creating the website. Then performance optimization using CSS, how you can do performance optimization. You should understand CSS custom properties. When you learn about CSS preprocessors, there you will learn lot of things. But apart from that, you should learn some custom properties in CSS. Then inheritance. Inheritance is also very important. When you start creating a website, if you give any design to parent, for some properties, same stylings can be given to child, but for some it is not given. Inheritance you have to understand. So from parent, child is taking the properties and also it will be displaying that properties. So inheritance you should understand. In CSS, all the properties will not be inherited from parent to child. Only related to font properties, it will be inherited, and few more properties that you really have to understand. And accordingly, you have to style the elements. For parent, if you have given the font size as 16 or 18 pixel, for child, you do not have to give. Child will inherit from parent and it will work only for few properties. So you have to understand inheritance. So after getting all these additional skills, after following this complete roadmap, then finally you should practice, practice and practice. You have to build a website, and after building website, you have to make that website responsive. If you are not making that website responsive using CSS, then I don't think you will be getting lot of user experience once you host the website. Because nowadays, people are mostly using mobile phones. They are not using laptops anywhere, but they are carrying mobile phones everywhere. So even if they're traveling, if they're seeing their website, it should have all the things which user requires. So your website should be responsive. Then projects, you can make all these projects responsive navbar. First, create responsive navbar using CSS, understand the logic, then go to framework. Using framework, copy the code, add some stylings, create responsive navbar, then apply preprocessor stylings, apply variables, nesting, mixins. We have lot of things in that. Apply those things and create responsive navbar. You can create responsive blog platform. You can create e-commerce website. You can create shopping cart. You can create lot of project using CSS. But to apply all this concept, you should be having HTML file. In that structure only, you have to apply all the stylings. Only then you can create these projects. You can create dashboard interface for admin, landing pages, social media cards. In many social media, if you see, we will be having lot of cards, and also in websites we will have cards which will display the feedback of users or team members. So that kind of cards you can make. E-commerce website clones, select any one of the website, make a clone of that. Select Amazon, make a clone of that. Select Twitter, make a clone of that. Clone in the sense, same design, same styling, everything should be same. Then travel website you can make food website, hotel website. You can do lots and lots of things. Practice this project, understand what you are doing. Do not by heart the layers, you will forget, because by hearting these concepts will not work at all. Then talking about jobs, if you learn CSS, you can apply for front-end developer. But apart from CSS, you should also be having JavaScript skills. But still, you can apply as a front-end developer, web designer, email developer. So for email structures, you can apply for that job. CSS developer, definitely. If you learn CSS, you can become CSS developer. Content management system. If you are using PHP, if you have started with WordPress, or if you are aware of WordPress, and for that themes also, you can apply for that job. In that, CSS is used. And coming to salary, average salary for CSS beginners will be starting from 3 lakh to 6 lakh per annum for beginners. If you're having experience, then you might get 6 lakh to 10 lakh per annum. But if you're working as a freelancer, salary is not fixed. According to your time, according to the projects you are getting, you will be getting the amount. But if you're working for any IT field, and if you're having only HTML and CSS knowledge, then this is the average salary you will be getting. But along with this, if you're having extra salary, then completely depends on the company how much they will be offering. And in different countries, there will be different package for front-end developer, web designer and everything. Okay, I'm talking about India. So this will be the average salary in India. Then these are some of the tips. You have to read the document every day. Just take 10 to 5 minutes. Read the document, see the latest trends, what are the features added in CSS, what are the new properties added in CSS. Just be updated and keep yourself updated with the new features. Then participate in coding challenges. There will be a lot of coding challenges. Just take any one of the game from Google. Whatever properties you have learned, apply those properties, get the result, win the game. Just clear the levels, understand how the concept work. Because in Google, you will find lot of games related to Flexbox, grid system. You can clear every levels and you can understand the concept of gridbox and flexboxes. So in similar way, participate in coding challenges. In many platforms, we have CodePen, we have GitHub. There will be a lot of challenges. Participate in that. Write the code. Understand winning is not important. Even if you don't win in those challenges, no problem at all, because trying is most important. And you will learn CSS only with consistent practice and applying what you learned. In YouTube also, if you only watch the videos without practicing anywhere, then you will definitely not get in your mind. And later when you start with your project, you will not understand anything. Again, you have to watch the video. Again, you have to spend your time. So while watching the video, type along with the instructor, code along with them. Then all the code will be going into your mind. Even if you're not understanding, just type along with them. Later when you start practicing, you will have idea, okay, this is what it has done. So you are not in a race, compete with yourself, understand and create the websites. Next session, we will see complete roadmap of JavaScript. What are the things you should learn in JavaScript to get started in your web development career? That's all for this section. I hope this section was useful to you. If you found this video useful and knowledgeable, you can support me. You can share this video with your friends and families. And also, if you're having any doubts, you can comment down your doubts. And also, you can message me in Instagram DM. That's all for this section. Thank you so much for watching this. Have a great day.